Welcome to the practice. Hello, my name is Jason Gorenstein. This is our Hatha Yoga Level 1-2 class at Yoga with Jason G. And you can find me on all platforms at Yoga with Jason G. If you're watching on YouTube, please find your way over to Facebook if you're interested in practicing in the live classes, live streaming classes every day on Facebook. Today is Wednesday, June the 3rd, 2020, and the time is 12 o'clock, just a couple minutes past 12, for our Hatha Yoga midday practice. So without further ado, let us begin, and we're going to begin in Sukhasana, so seated cross-legged pose. So as you feel ready, find your way onto your mat, and we will begin. So, as you find your way onto your mat, doggy, disgusting. All right, sorry about that. There's a little bit of from the dog. All right, so come into a cross-legged pose. See that your side ribs are lifting up. See that your chest is lifting up. And allow for your sit bones to release all the way down towards the mat here. So what you can do is you can take your hands and you can place your left hand behind your left buttocks flesh and your right hand behind your right buttocks flesh, and move the buttocks flesh away from the floor. And as you sit here, allow the spine to lengthen all the way up towards the crown of the head. Good. So as you continue to breathe here, just feel your breath as it travels in and out through your nostrils. All right, and then eventually take the hands to the center chest. So we're going to collectively join in on an Om together. So taking a deep breath in, drawing the air in as you feel ready. Releasing the chin towards the chest, taking the fingers to an interlaced position, pressing the fingers forward in front of you, lifting the palms up towards the ceiling. As you lift the palms up towards the ceiling here, continue to lengthen through your side ribs all the way out to the fingers. Feel the fingers spreading wide apart as you broaden across the chest. Allow the belly to hug in towards the back of the spine. Keeping that, begin to float the left palm down towards the mat. Float the right pinky finger down towards the mat as you lengthen the right arm all the way over the left side of the body here. Good. Inhale in, extending both arms back up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana arms. Exhale, lengthening through your right arm as you begin to lengthen your chest all the way over your left arm all the way over the right side of the body. Inhale, floating both arms back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, you're going to find your way onto your hands and your knees and come into a tabletop pose. So as you find your way into tabletop pose, spread the fingers wide apart here. See that you're pressing through all 10 fingers now. So spread the fingers wide apart, wrap the outer armpits in, and lengthen the sternum forward all the way to the crown of the head. So see that the trapezius muscles draw back. See that the forearms begin to draw forward here. Lengthen through those side ribs. As you exhale, tucking the toes underneath, pressing down through the fingers, lifting the knees up off the mat, find your way into downward facing dog pose. So downward facing dog pose, walk the feet a little bit wider apart. See that the weight is traveling from the forearm all the way to the fingertips. Allow the inner forearms to lift up off the mat. Allow the outer triceps to wrap on and in. Feel the side ribs lengthening all the way towards the hip bones. And allow the heels to lengthen all the way back towards the back of the mat. Good. Now keeping that, begin to walk the hands back towards the feet so that the weight travels even in the feet. Press down through the four corners of the feet. Allow the inner ankles to lift up. Allow the inner arches of the feet to lift up as you let the weight travel in towards the outer feet. That's it. Inhale, begin to peel the chest up, lengthening up through the heart and the sternum here. Take the hands to the shins and begin to straighten the arms as you lengthen the chest on forward. Now keep that length in the chest and exhale, release the torso all the way down towards the ground. Walk the fingers forward, find your way back into downward facing dog pose. Good. Downward facing dog pose. Lower the knees down to the mat. And once again, sealing down through all 10 fingers, wrap those outer arms in. So firm the triceps in. Lengthen through the sternum. Spread across your collarbones. Now, engage your core muscles here as you begin to wrap your frontal hip points all the way up in towards your frontal ribs. Good. So a nice little rounded spine here. Inhale, peeling the chest forward and out. Taking yourself into a tabletop pose. Exhale, rounding through the spine and releasing the crown of the head all the way down. Good. Inhale, peeling the chest forward and up. Exhale, rounding the spine and releasing the head down. One more time. Inhale, peeling the chest forward and up, lengthening through the chest, heart, and sternum. As you exhale, tuck those toes underneath. Press down through the tops of the feet. Draw the forearms forward. Let the crown of the head release down to the mat as you find your way into downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose here. Once again, begin to release the forehead down to the mat. Now notice the legs. The legs have to also draw back to the back of the room. So it's not just the palms pressing down. It's also the shins are drawing back towards the calves. The thighs are drawing back towards the hamstrings. The hip bones are drawing back towards the back of the mat. Now once again, walking the hands back towards the feet, coming into a forward fold. And then as you feel ready, inhale, peeling up the chest again. So bring the hands onto those shins. Draw the shin bones back, draw the thigh bones back, and lengthen the chest on forward. One more time, exhale, releasing the torso all the way down. Walk the hands forward, walk the hands forward, walk the hands forward. Spread across your fingers and allow the inner arms to lift as the outer arms release back towards the hip bones. Release the knees down to the floor. Release the chest all the way down to the floor. Good. As you release the chest all the way down to the floor, begin to walk the hands next to the side ribs. As you spread across the fingers, press down through the thumb and the forefinger. Begin to peel up the chest here. Hug the outer elbows in. Allow the tops of the trapezius muscles to move towards the flesh of the buttocks. Continue to lengthen the buttocks flesh all the way to the back of the room as you lengthen through cobra pose. As you exhale, tuck those toes underneath. Press down through the fingers. Press down through the feet. Inhale, lift the chest through plank. Exhale, find your way back into downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose here, floating into plank again. And seeing that you're pressing through all 10 fingers. See that the shoulders are right over the wrist. Firm the outer biceps in. Continue to engage the core muscles here. And see that the sternum lengthens all the way to the front of the mat. Exhale, shifting back for downward facing dog pose again. Downward facing dog pose here, float the right heel up. As the right heel floats up, notice that the weight shifts over to the left side of the body. Can you draw the right outer hip back? Press firmly through both palms into the mat and wrap those outer arms in. Good. Let the right foot drift to about an inch off the floor and then draw the right knee into the chest. Step the right foot in between the hands and spin the left heel down. Walk the right toes over the left and then inhale. Take the hands to the hips as you bend more deeply into that right knee. Now see that right knee is bent to 90 degrees here. See that the right shin is right over the right ankle. And then the right knee is bending directly over the right shin. So bending at 90 degrees here. Now firm the right outer hip in. Spin the left hip forward and begin to pull or turn rather the left side of the chest all the way towards the front of the room. So both sides of the chest are now facing the front of the room. Inhale, begin to extend your arms equally out in opposite directions here. So feel both arms lengthening to the tips of the fingers. Begin to notice that the collarbone flesh at the top of the shoulders is releasing down towards the hip bones. Feel your left heel pressing down as the left outer hip spins on and in. Good. As you breathe here, keep pressing down through the four corners of both feet. Feel the left heel pressing down. Feel the left side of the chest lifting as well as the right side of the chest. Straighten through that right leg. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Palms face one another. As you exhale, bend into that right knee again and take the arms out to the sides. Now begin to hinge at that left hip here, or right hip rather, and take your right hand inside of your right leg. Left arm floats up towards the ceiling. Take the left hand, place it on the left hip. Draw the left shoulder chest region all the way up towards the ceiling here. Continue to roll the left hip down to the mat as you spin the chest up towards the ceiling. Inhale, float the left arm back up. Keep bending into that right knee. Hug the right outer thigh in. Now, take your left palm, spin across the tops of those fingers, and lengthen the left arm up and over your head as you lengthen through both sides of the chest here. Keep bending into that right knee. Keep hugging the outer right thigh in. Inhale, left arm lifts up towards the ceiling. Let the left arm lift us up back into Warrior Two. Straighten through that right leg. One more time, bend into that right knee. Windmill the hands down to the mat and step your right leg back to meet your left leg at the back of the mat. You can stay here if you'd like. You can move through vinyasas. You shift forward into plank, chaturanga, upward dog, and then eventually downward facing dog. Downward facing dog pose, float the left leg up. Good. As you float the left leg up, continue to see that weight is even in both hands. Press the outer right thigh back, spin the left foot down. Continue to engage your core muscles here. As you feel ready, draw the left foot towards the floor. Left foot just hovers across the floor, and then draw the left knee into the chest. Shoulders over wrists. Step the left foot in between the hands. Spin down through the right heel. Walk the left toes in. See that the left heel is lining up towards the right arch, the right center of the foot. Windmill both arms up towards the sides and lengthen through the chest as you find your way into Virabhadrasana 2 or Warrior 2 pose. Warrior 2 pose. See that the knee is bending directly over the second toe. Allow the left outer buttocks to wrap in. Feel the right heel pressing down, which draws the right hip forward. Spin your right chest over towards your right palm. And then from here, straighten through that left leg. Inhale, float both arms up towards the ceiling. So here, we lengthen through the chest. See that the left hip lifts up off the left thigh. And continue to feel both sides of the chest growing up towards those fingers. As you exhale, rebend into that left knee. And this time, as you hinge at that left hip, take your left hand down inside the leg. Left buttocks moves in, right palm moves up towards the ceiling here. As you press through the right heel, spin the right hip down. Bend a little bit more deeply into that left knee. Draw the left buttocks in, and then begin to turn your right palm down to the mat. Extend the palm towards the floor and lengthen the palm all the way up and over the head. Spin the right heel down. Spin the right side of the chest down as you lengthen through your right fingers here. Keep bending into that left knee. Draw the left side of the chest forward. Draw the right side of the chest forward. Inhale, float that right arm back up. Inhale, lift the right arm back up and come back into Warrior 2 pose. Warrior 2 pose, once again, windmill those hands down to the mat. Glide your left leg to meet the right leg, finding your way back into downward facing dog. You can shift forward into plank. You can lower down halfway. Inhale, peel up the chest. Exhale, pressing back, downward facing dog pose. And once again, here we shift forward into plank. Top of a push-up. Continue to press back through those heels. Continue to lengthen through the chest and the sternum. Keep seeing that the buttocks flesh moves towards the heels, and then spin both feet over to the right side. Keep your hands both on the mat. Now the weight all shifts over to the right hand, but can you press evenly also through that left hand? Keep drawing that right hip up. Keep spinning the chest in as you hug the navel in. Back to center here. Exhale to the opposite side. So you first start by rolling the hips over. Then you hug the left outer hip in. You engage the core muscles here as you press firmly through both palms. See that the shoulder blades are spread wide across the chest. Lengthen through the sternum here. Once again, come back to center. Exhale, find your way back into downward facing dog pose. Again, downward facing dog, float the right leg up. Right knee hugs into the chest. Step the right foot forward in between the hands. Spin the left heel down here, walk the right toes back to center. And then from here, heel to arch, hug the outer right hip in, warrior two pose. So warrior two pose here, we just begin to hold for a little bit longer. So keep hugging that right outer hip in. Keep extending through those palms. Keep lengthening through both sides of the chest here. Straighten through that right leg. Draw the right outer hip back. Draw the left outer hip forward. Hinge forward and release the right palm underneath the right shoulder. Left arm extends all the way up towards the ceiling. Allow the left heel to press on down as you spin the left hip down towards the mat. Press through the right palm as you lengthen through the left fingers up towards the ceiling. Spread across the shoulder blades here. Lengthen through both sides of the chest. Breathe as you lengthen the right side of the chest forward all the way to the right armpit. From here, left hand comes to the left hip. Pause. Take your left elbow and draw it back towards the back of the room so that the left side of the chest begins to revolve towards the ceiling here. Look down towards the right toes. Bend into that right knee and glide your right hand outside of that right leg. Step your left foot in. Bring your right hand forward to the foot again and begin to float your left leg up. Spin the left ball of the foot down. Draw the right outer hip back and begin to float your left arm up towards the ceiling here. Keep reaching up through those left fingers. Keep reaching up through that left foot and breathe here. As you exhale, begin to add a bend to that right knee and softly releasing that left foot down. Plant the foot down. Once again, find your way back into Utthita Trikonasana pose, extended triangle pose. As you inhale here, float the left arm up, and one more time, bend into that right knee as we come back into Warrior Two. So our sequencing today, we're holding Warrior Two a lot. And Warrior Two is a very strong pose. It's a very difficult pose, believe it or not. So when we hold it a bunch, we can begin to grow stability and strength within our body. So notice here that that left outer hip is spinning in. Notice that the right heel is pressing down. Right calf is moving towards the right shin. Right outer thigh is spinning on in. Straighten that leg one more time. Take your hands, revolve them down to the mat as you bend lightly into the knees. Spin both feet over to face that right leg. Good. Step your right leg back. Find your way back into plank pose. Plank pose to Chaturanga Dandasana. Chaturanga to upward dog. Upward dog to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog pose. Again, shift forward into plank and hold. So see here that you're engaging through your core. Allow the forearms to drift forward. Allow the triceps to hug in. Feel the shoulder blades spreading across the back of the spine. Begin to feel the belly hugging in towards the ceiling here. Lengthen through those heels. Exhale, find your way back into downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog, float the left leg up. Draw the left knee in through the center chest. Step the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. Walk the left toes to center. As you press through the right outer foot, inhale, draw both arms up towards the sides. Virabhadrasana 2. Warrior Two pose. From Warrior Two pose, continue to rotate your left buttocks in towards the midline of the body and towards the plumb line of the body. Feel your right side of your chest pulling back. Feel the left side of the chest pulling forward. So keep this straighten through the left leg. Keep both hips lifted here and then begin to hinge across your left hip as you take your left hand towards the left shin. Right arm extends up towards the ceiling. Now allow the weight to travel from the outer foot towards the inner foot so that there's evenness pressing through the ball of your left toes. Hug the left outer buttocks in. Feel the right heel pressing down. Keep lifting through the right side of the chest. Then from here, bending at the right elbow, take the right hand, place it right behind the back, and begin to peel the chest all the way up towards the ceiling. Keep spinning your left outer glutes in, or your left outer, thigh in. Good. From here, look down towards your left foot. Begin to add a bend to the left knee and glide your left hand about 8 to 12 inches outside that foot. Pause. Step your right foot in and step the left hand out about another 8 to 12 inches. It's only 8 to 12 inches diagonal of the foot completely. Then from here, shift the weight forward into that hand. Inhale, begin to float up your right leg. Spin the right heel down to the mat. Lengthen through your right arm all the way up towards the ceiling here. So as you press to the left ball of the foot, continue to engage the left buttocks. Left buttocks draws into the midline of the body. As you press through the right ball of the foot, continue to spin down your right hip. Lift your right side of the chest through the fingers. As you exhale here, bending into that left knee, release the right hand down to the hip. Step your right leg back. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Inhale, floating that arm up, bending through the left knee, and hold for a moment in Warrior Two. So Warrior Two, once again, we build strength and stability through our holds. So we allow ourselves to bend into that knee, you allow yourself to hug in your outer hip, and you feel a softening happen across the shoulders. So the collarbones are spread wide apart. The belly is engaged here, so hollow in the belly. Soften those frontal ribs any amount as you lengthen through the back shoulders. As you exhale, take your hands down to the mat. Be here for a moment, lengthening through the entire right and left leg. Step your left leg back to meet the right. Downward facing dog. Once again, find your way into plank. Plank pose, lower the knees down. Lower the chest all the way down onto the mat. Release the forehead down. Now take your hands, interlace your hands behind the back. Begin to pull the fingers back to the back of the mat here. As you inhale, peel up the chest. Hug the belly in towards the ceiling as you float both toes, both big toe mounds, up and begin to spin the pinky toe side of the foot down towards the floor. Lengthen here for Shalabhasana's pose. Shalabhasana or locust pose. Continue to breathe here as you lengthen through the chest. As you exhale, lower the head down and release the arms to the sides of the body. Good. Now from here, take the hands back next to the side ribs. Inhale, begin to peel up the chest, cobra, maybe even an up dog. Exhale, pressing back a downward facing dog pose. So from downward facing dog, you're going to look forward in between your hands and walk the feet forward to the hands. Inhale, lengthening here. Exhale, folding. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling. Utkatasana chair pose as you bend the knees, straighten the legs, and take the arms all the way down and out to the sides. Okay. Now from here, you're going to grab a block, and you're going to place a block in between your legs, just like this. And you're going to hug the thighs towards one another. Inhale, begin to float those arms up towards the ceiling. Urdhva Hastasana pose. As you take Urdhva Hastasana pose, see that you're lengthening through the back ribs as much as the side ribs. The frontal ribs are softening here in this pose. So frontal ribs are drawing down. Begin to bend those knees, bend those knees, bend those knees, moving into Utkatasana chair pose. Then take your hands and bring your hands to the center chest here. Good. Spread across the back of the spine. Press the palms firmly in towards each other and take the right tricep and place it over top of the left thigh. Squeeze the thighs together here as you spin the chest all the way up towards the left side of the room. Breathe here. Inhale, drawing back to center. Lengthen through those fingers. Keep sitting down into the chair. Bring the hands back into the center chest. Hinge at the hips. Take your left tricep. Place it over top of the right thigh. And breathe as you spin. Draw the right outer shoulder back. Lengthen the left shoulder forward. Feel the right hip bone drawing back as you lengthen the chest forward. Inhale, back to center again. As you exhale, hinge on forward. Lift the inner thighs up and release the head down. Now take the hands behind the back, low back, interlace the fingers here, and pull the fingers up towards the ceiling as you release the chest down towards the mat. Continue to feel the four corners of the foot pressing down, of each foot pressing down. Feel the backs of the shins lengthening up. Feel the inner thighs lengthening up to release the chest on down. Bend those knees again. Inhale, begin to peel up the chest here. Float the arms up as you take Utkatasana again. Keep sinking down, keep sinking down, keep sinking down. Straighten through those legs. And release that block off to the side. Good. All right. From here, Utkatasana, chair pose again. Lower down, lower down, lower down. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthening here. As you feel ready, walking the feet back and finding your way into downward facing dog. You can take a vinyasa if you want, or you can come straight to downward facing dog pose. Your choice. Then from here, float that right leg up again, lifting up through the right heel. Draw the right knee into the chest and step the right foot in between the hands. Spin the left foot down so that the left heel is pressing down to the mat. Feel the left heel pressing back as you draw the left hip forward. Keep bending into that right knee, and as well, hug the right outer buttocks in. Begin to drive the hands forward and begin to lift the chest here as you float up into Warrior One pose. Virabhadrasana 1. Bending into that right knee. Now spin onto the ball of your left foot. Allow your left knee to take a light bend into it. And begin to rebound through the sides of your ribs as you lengthen through the fingertips here. As you exhale, you're going to begin to float on forward halfway. So hold here. You're lengthening through the chest, you're lengthening through the heart, you're lengthening through the sternum. You're just leaning forward. Nice. And then from here, release the hands down to the mat. Now, walk the fingers forward, step your left toes forward, and begin to float your left leg up as you hug your outer right hip in. Take the hands and place both hands at the center chest now. Warrior 3 pose. Continue to feel the four corners of the foot, right foot pressing down. Continue to feel the outer right hip hugging in. And continue to feel both sides of the chest lengthening forward and up. From here, glide the left foot forward, glide the left foot forward, glide the left foot forward. Place the left foot on the ground for a moment. Inhale, draw the left knee up towards the chest. From here, you're going to take the left foot. You're going to turn the left foot 45 degrees so that the left foot is placing now on the right thigh crease. Spin the outer right thigh in. Press through the left ball of the foot and take both hands to the center chest here. Lengthen both sides of the buttocks towards the heels. Feel the top of the chest lengthening through the crown of the head here. So we're taking tree pose. Vrikshasana. From tree pose, inhale, float the arms all the way up towards the ceiling here. Lengthen through the fingers. Continue to hug the right outer buttocks in. As you feel ready, take the hands in through the center chest. Draw the left knee into center. Glide here. Begin to extend your left leg all the way back behind you, lengthening through that left heel. Spin the left outer hip down. Plug the right hip in. And release the hands back down to the mat. Release the head down. Good. From here, begin to release the left foot on down as you walk the hands back, and inhale, begin to peel up the chest. One more time, bend into that right knee. As you bend into the right knee, float both arms up towards the ceiling for Warrior One. As you exhale, take the hands down to the mat. Spin onto the ball of your left foot, step your right leg back, and find your way back into plank pose. All right, plank pose again. From plank pose, spread the feet a little bit wider apart. Turn the feet over towards the right side of the room. So once again, we're here. This time, shift the weight to the right palm. Right shoulder floats up the back. Left toes come on top of the right foot as you lengthen the chest for Vashisthasana. or side plank pose. Vashisthasana pose, release the left hand down to the mat. Be in plank pose for a moment. Continue to lengthen back through those heels. Continue to engage your core muscles here. So the outer biceps wrap in. Feel the forearms firming in and up, and feel the shoulders spreading across the back of the spine. Shift the weight over to the left palm. Glide both feet on top of the left foot, and inhale, float the right arm up. Keep lifting through the chest. Now, extend through your side rib all the way to the armpit as you lengthen the right arm up and over the head. Breathe here as you hug the belly in. Lengthen through the right side of the chest all the way to the right fingers. As you exhale, release your right palm down to the mat. Lower the chest down halfway. Pause. Inhale. Release it on down. All right, from here, walk the fingers forward into Sphinx pose. So the elbows come directly underneath the shoulders here. Interlace the fingers all the way. As you interlace the fingers, press down firmly through your wrist, your forearm, and your elbows as you begin to peel your belly up off the mat. Squeeze that belly in. Continue to feel the buttocks flesh lengthening to the backs of the heels as you draw the belly in towards the back of the spine. Good. As you exhale here, lower that belly on down. Now look towards your left foot. Begin to put a bend in that left leg. And glide your left foot all the way over towards, or your left heel all the way over towards your left buttocks, as close as it gets. From here, spin your right palm over towards the left forearm. Take your left forearm, glide it back to the top of the left foot. Spin your left palm down on top of that foot as the left elbow lifts on up. From here, begin to look on forward. Press down through the top of the left foot as you kick back the top of the left thigh. Left thigh is lifting up. Left foot is pressing down. Left hip is spinning forward towards the right arm. Exhale, release. Good. Back to center again. Interlace the fingers here. You can tuck the toes underneath this time as you begin to float up the belly. So lengthen the tailbone all the way to the backs of the heels. Firm the belly in. Allow the frontal ribs to soften here as you draw the belly up towards the back of the spine. Maybe you begin to lift those knees up off the mat for forearm plank pose. As you exhale, lower those knees down, lower the belly down. Good. Once again, take the feet towards one another. Begin to add a bend onto your right knee. Right knee is bent here. Spin the left palm towards the right elbow and begin to clasp hold of the top of your right foot. Spin the right foot down to the mat. Spin the right elbow up towards the ceiling. From here, firm the right outer hip in. Feel the top of the right foot releasing down to the right buttocks, and then lengthen the right side of your chest forward and up. So even though you're pressing down through that right leg, you're lifting up through the bottom of the right thigh. Right glutes are firming in and up. Exhale, releasing that leg on down. One more time, interlacing the forearms here. Interlacing the fingers here. Begin to walk those feet underneath. Begin to lift up through the pelvis. Begin to feel the belly hugging in. If you'd like, taking forearm plank once again. Feel the belly hugging into the midline. Lengthen that sternum forward. Feel the collarbones drawing back towards the buttocks flesh. Lengthen all the way through the heels. All right? From here, walk the hands back up into plank pose. Plank pose, shifting back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Shavasana. Downward facing dog pose, floating the left leg up. Left knee comes into the chest. Shoulders over wrists, step the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. Press down through that right heel. Spin the right hip forward. Press down through the left heel. Spin the left hip back. Good. From here, firm the abdomen in. Begin to glide the hands back and inhale, peel up the chest as you find your way into Warrior One pose. Warrior One pose. Begin to spin onto the ball of your right foot. Pause. Lean forward, lean forward, lean forward. So keep lengthening here and pause again. Good. Keep firming in the belly. Keep lengthening through the shoulders as you hug in the outer left hip. Now draw forward again. Maybe bring the hands to the center chest as you come into Virabhadrasana 3. Warrior 3 pose. Continue to press down through the four corners of the left foot. Continue to feel the left outer hip hugging in. Continue to lengthen through both sides of the chest. Glide that leg on forward, glide that leg on forward, glide that leg on forward. Draw the right knee up. Spin the right leg out. Take the right foot, place it on the top of your left thigh. Right foot firms into left thigh crease. Hands come to the center chest here. Vrikshasana, or tree pose. From here, begin to extend the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Firm the left outer buttocks in. Feel both buttocks flesh lengthening down towards the heels here. Lengthen through the side ribs all the way through the fingertips. As you exhale here, you're going to take your hands, bring them back into your center chest, and begin to take that right leg forward once again. As you exhale, begin to glide that right leg on back. Glide that right leg on back. Warrior 3 pose. Warrior 3 pose. Plant the hands down on the mat. Release the right leg down behind you. And then begin to bend into the left knee as you lift the arms up back into Warrior 1. As you exhale here, take the hands down to the mat. Walk the left toes out to the left side of the room. And begin to breathe here as you lengthen through the chest in Wizard's pose. And breathe. If you want more, press that right heel back. Take the left arm, bring it underneath the back muscles. Take the right arm, bring it behind the back muscles, and lengthen the chest on forward. The variation of Wizard's pose. And breathe. Good. Release those hands on down. Walk the feet to center, walk the feet to center, walk the feet to center. Release the head on down. And breathe here. And then you're going to walk the feet over to the other side, walk over the other side, walk over to the other side. Take your hands inside of your right leg this time. Bring your right hand under and inside your right hip. Hug your right hip in as you take hold of your hand behind the leg. So you can take this warrior bind pose if you'd like, or it's called locust bind pose. Release the hands down to the mat. Step your right leg back, downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose. Release those knees down to the mat. You're going to find your way onto a block and have a seat for a moment. All right. Have a seat on that block. Feel both side ribs lengthening up towards the armpits here. Lengthen through the side ribs, lengthen through the chest. And again here, you're going to shift on forward. You're going to come onto your knees. Come onto your knees. Come onto your knees. Bring your hands to the flesh of the buttocks here. Wrap the outer thighs in. Bring the hands down the flesh of the buttocks. Bring the hands down the flesh of the buttocks. Bring the hands down the flesh of the buttocks. Draw the thighs back towards the heels. Now walk your right hand back towards your right heel. Walk your left hand back towards your left heel. This is called Ustrasana's pose. Keep pressing your legs in towards one another. Keep lengthening your hip bones forward and up as the thigh bones draw back towards the hamstrings. Inhale, lifting the chest on up. Exhale, sitting back down onto the block. So I'll do that again just from a side angle this time, just so you guys can see a little bit differently as we do it from a side angle. Ustrasana's camel's pose. All right, so once again, you'll see that my feet are being hugged together by that block. I can bring my hands down my buttocks and actually lengthen the buttocks flesh all the way to the backs of the knees. Good. Lengthen the chest up, lengthen the heart up. Begin to walk the hands on back, the legs, still down the legs. Take the left hand back to the left heel. Take the right hand to the right heel. Firm the outer legs in. Belly softens. Lift through the top of the chest and breathe here. See that those outer legs firm in. See that the chest lengthens up and breathe. As you exhale, lengthen on up. Release the hips all the way down towards the heels here. Walk the feet together and release. All right. One more time, we're going to come onto our belly. So we just prepared ourselves for the pose, Dhanurasana's pose. So as you feel ready, release the head on down. One more time, you're going to bend the right knee, you're going to bend the left knee. So this time you're going to grab hold of your outer shins, right shin and left shin here. Begin to flex the feet so that the toes face the ceiling. Lift the thigh bones up as you press the calf flesh into the shins. Good. Keep lifting those thigh bones up. Maybe you'll start to feel the frontal hip points lifting up. As you feel the frontal hip points lifting up, collarbones spread wide apart, and the chest begins to open up here. Nice. Then begin to kick on back with those legs. Lift the chest up. Firm the buttocks in. Lengthen through the ribs. And breathe. Exhale, lower all the way down. Release the head over to one side. All right, let's do the second side of that. So bend the knees. Grab hold of the outer shins. Bring the legs closer together. Begin to flex the feet here. As you press the calf flesh back, feel the outer legs firming in. Lift the inner thighs up. Begin to peel the chest on up. Hug the belly in here. Hug the belly in. Hug the belly in. Begin to kick those legs back. Begin to kick those legs back. Begin to kick those legs back. Exhale, lower down, and release to the other side. Press your way up and find your way into downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose. Walk the feet forward to the hands. Sit on down, sit on down, sit on down. And begin to take your legs forward of your feet. All right. From here, lie all the way down. Sorry. Lie all the way down onto your back. As you lie on down onto your back, lift the legs up towards the ceiling here. And as you lift the legs up towards the ceiling, see if you can lift the chest off the mat. See if you can lift the shoulders off the mat. So you're lifting towards those legs like you're reaching up, grabbing hold of the legs. The legs keep extending away. Good. Keep lifting. Release the right foot down. Keep lifting towards that left foot. And draw that right leg on up. Keep lifting those shoulders. Release that left leg on down. Keep lifting that right leg. Inhale, draw that left leg on up. Right leg releases down. Keep lifting up towards that left foot. Inhale, draw the right leg up. Left leg releases down. Keep lifting up towards that right foot. Inhale, draw that leg back up. Right leg down. And right leg back up. And left leg down. And left leg back up. And right leg down, and right leg back up. And left leg down, and left leg back up. One more time. Right leg down, and right leg back up, and left leg down, and left leg back up. Hug those knees into the chest. Nice. And then from here, take the knees together, take the feet apart. Just lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum. This is a really nice pose. Good internal rotation of the legs. Lifts the chest up, really works the base of the abdomen here. And breathe. Good. As you exhale, release on down. Take your arms out to the side. Knees draw over to the right elbow. And if you'd like, keep the knees floated off the floor. As the knees are floating off the floor, it's a little bit more strenuous in the core, but it's still really nice for the body here. Good. Come back to center and take the knees over to the other side. Knees are just floating off the floor. All right, back to center again. Hug the knees into the chest, hug the knees into the chest, hug the knees into the chest. You're going to release the feet down. Grab hold of the outer edges of the mat, roll the shoulders underneath. Press down through the tops of the feet. Inhale, begin to peel the pelvis up. Let the frontal hip points draw to the frontal ribs. Let the tops of the thighs release down towards the hamstrings. Allow the four corners of the feet to press down and root down and rebound up through the shins, through the calves. Interlace the fingers underneath the back. Walk the left and right shoulders under as you begin to roll the top of the palm down towards the floor. And breathe here. Good. Eventually, you'll lower those hips on down to the mat and walk the shoulders out to the side. Take the left knee into the center chest. Wrap it over the right thigh. Take the back of the right thigh in and breathe here. So thread the needle or resting pigeon's pose. Allow the left buttocks flesh to move towards the right heel, or the left outer hip to move towards the right heel here. If you want more, lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum. It turns into an abdominal work pose. And then you'll unbind. You'll draw the right knee in, release the head on down. Take the right foot, place it over the left thigh, and then grab hold of the back of your left leg. So from here, the right hip draws towards the left foot. Lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum. If you lift, you'll notice that you can compress the belly a little bit more, which is good for our abdominal muscles. And then as you exhale, you can lower on down. So from here, Supta Padangusthasana. Supta Padangusthasana. So take your right foot in, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. You can always use a strap here, because you don't need the leg to draw that far back. It just depends on the openness of the right hip and the openness of the right hamstring. Ideally, you want that right foot to be somewhat parallel to the floor here, just like this. Breathing into that leg. Supta Padangusthasana. Resting, hand, foot, bound pose. And releasing that right foot down. Draw the left knee into the center chest. You can grab hold of the big toe mound of your left foot as you lengthen the left leg all the way up towards the ceiling here. Again, here, you want that left leg to continue to lift up. And breathe. All right, and then releasing that foot on down. Now, grab hold of your blocks. Take your blocks to either side of the legs. Bring your feet together. Bring your knees apart. Release your legs on down. This is called Supta Baddha Konasana, or supported bound angle pose. And from supported bound angle, release the legs forward. Come into Shavasana. Take the palms to face the ceiling. If your hands are in contact with some objects like a blanket or a strap, just move them off to the side. You want to release the body fully here. So allow the breath to reemerge back into the body. Take the arms over the head, point the toes to the front of the mat, and then bring the knees to a bent position. Roll the body over onto the left side. Press the palm down, inhale, lift the chest up. Find your way back into a seated position and close your eyes. Take the palms to the center chest. Release the chin towards the chest. Lift the head and open the eyes. So thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. My name is Jason Gorenstein. This is at Yoga with Jason G. That's my little handle. And I do live streaming classes every single day on Facebook Live. So you can find me on Facebook Live. I post the videos afterwards on YouTube. So there are plenty of videos. And I'm going to continue to post videos. But if there's anything that you guys like to request, please let me know so that way I could create a sequence for that request. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day today. Let me know how you guys are doing. And if you want to stick around for a few more moments, I give my little closing. So once again, hello, thank you guys so much. Once again, you just practiced Hatha Yoga 1-2 with Jason Gorenstein at Yoga with Jason G. This is Yoga, Meditation, and Wellness. Next class is Friday, June the 5th, 2020, 12 p.m. to 12:55 p.m. If you enjoyed the class, depending on what platform you're watching, thumbs up sign, heart sign. If you're not following me on Facebook, please consider hitting the like button. This way you guys get updates about my classes and my schedule. Also, feel free to comment, feel free to check in. Direct message me is fine. Sharing videos is obviously encouraged. I have a little Venmo QR code. All the videos are free. However, if you feel like contributing, I'm always grateful. That helps out a lot with production, lighting, sound, all these things that go into making good, high quality live streaming videos. So thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Be well, be happy, my friends. Namaste. Thank you guys.